Hello, beautiful people. It's that time again that we do chit chatting here on GBC News. This is the page, your authoritative platform when it comes to getting those who matter when it comes to sports development. And today, I'll be using one stone to kill two birds. I'll celebrate excellence and also tell you about a great man I have in this house. This is the gentleman that pioneered wheelchair tennis development in South Africa, the Rainbow Nation. You can't talk about wheelchair development in this world in terms of tennis without mentioning South Africa. And the man who engineered and masterminded it is in the house. He is visiting Ghana and has a lot to do. So I won't take the wind out of his sail. Let me introduce the one and only Evergreen. Mr. Holger Losch, right? That's the name.
That's correct.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. It's a great introduction. I have to admit, obviously, there was a big team of people with us, and we were very fortunate to start on a journey, get good support for it, and build it over many years. But with that, we were extremely fortunate to have some great stars like Kgotatso Mantyane as the first female African athlete to win a Grand Slam title, Lucas Setole in 2013, the first African man to win a Grand Slam at the US Open, as well as the 2014 Australian Open. And with that, obviously, those were some great achievements.
And there are greater more to come because of the seed you and your team have sown. You are in Ghana for a special reason. Let's just run through. Ghanaians are just eager to see you, and they've seen you today on their national TV that indeed a great man is in this country. And we know your handwriting, what you can do. For a starter, for a first timer, what is the main purpose for this visit from the ITF?
So the ITF, the International Tennis Federation, runs the sport of wheelchair tennis globally, and part of their growth strategy is to assist nations in growing the sport and establishing a national program. It's obviously always a great achievement to have top athletes performing, but what's really important is that the sport is played on a local level, on a continuous basis. From there, the seeds are sown in terms of finding that amazing talent and then giving opportunities for that. So the visit is specifically related around this development fund, the Wheelchair Tennis Development Fund, and it's a 2 to 3 year project that a nation gets some assistance and some knowledge exchange. So part of my visit is to do some coaches education, some clinics, but also sit with the various structures, if it's Ghana Tennis Federation, the wheelchair tennis structures, the Ministry of Sports and similar, to embark on a long-term journey to get some Ghanaians to participate on a global stage.
I gathered that you are the mission here and has a team, and it says that to develop a strategic plan for between 2024 and 2028. Break it a little bit down for us. ITF wants to help Ghana develop a plan, a strategy.
Correct. So there's obviously, as in any sport, there are many layers to it. So one layer is access to equipment and events and coaching on a national basis. Then trying to tie it into the region, things like the African Para Games or the regional World Cup qualifications that happen in the African region. Those were the first sort of steps, and Ghana has been participating in those. So those are very important steps in that. And then building out a project to sustain the sport. So it's obviously not easy in terms of facilities and access to make sure that players who would like to participate in the sport are offered the sport. So this is laying out a strategic plan, putting a budget behind it, hopefully encouraging some sponsors and support, and the ITF assists with some equipment and some seed funding for some events and similar.
So if it is a plan, then we are looking at something. Are we going to see, okay, let me put it this way. How crucial would the youth be in this your visit and in this your plan? How do you structure it? Are you coming only for the advanced players and those who only have it, or the plan will encompass the seed basic to, and is the time frame enough?
Time frame is never enough, but I think what's really important is why Ghana was chosen, for instance, is because there is a good structure already in place. You have some really competent coaches. So just the knowledge exchange and upskilling on what's happening on a global level is really, really important. So that's one level. So, and that encompasses both all the layers of participation. So from entry level right through to players trying to compete on a global scale. So that's one level to it. But the visit is to help build a structure to sustain the sport. Ghana Tennis is also a well-structured body, and wheelchair tennis is part of the Tennis Federation, as is on a global scale. The ITF, the International Tennis Federation, wheelchair tennis is part of them, and then there are links to your Paralympic committees, which we call NPCs, so your National Paralympic Committees, that would then link back into participating at Paralympics or similar. Otherwise, tennis is fully integrated on a global scale. So if you're looking at the big Grand Slam tournaments, those are the massive tournaments in tennis. And each of those, there are wheelchair tennis sections. And then there's a fully established tour worldwide, which has opportunities for players to gain world rankings, qualify for things like the Grand Slams, your big level tournaments, as well as your Paralympic Games and similar.
So how crucial will governments play? I looked at what you and your team did in South Africa. You were saying that, okay, we didn't do it alone. We had the understanding, the support from both corporate South Africa, the government, and individuals. Here in Ghana, how crucial would it be to see governments really getting more involved, and then also getting corporate Ghana also more involved, plus whatever ITF will be bringing in?
So obviously those are all critical elements. So government involvement is really important on all the layers. So when I speak about all the layers, if you're going to one of the regions, Ashanti or something, make sure that you have facilities available, that players are welcomed. Because in some areas, if people don't know wheelchair tennis yet, maybe they fear that the chair will damage the courts. But that doesn't exist. We're playing on the biggest stages is wheelchair tennis. So that's just making facilities aware, making them available for players in the regions to participate, and incorporating them into current sports structures, because disability is part of the population. So a person with a disability would like to participate in economic means, educational, so schools, as well as sports and recreation. So all of those for a healthy environment are critical. So government plays a much bigger role than just helping players to get to the big global events, but it also needs to make sure it assists in giving access to facilities, maybe adding disabled bathrooms, access ramps to courts. Those kind of small things go a long, long way. And then integrating into school games or national or regional championships. So it doesn't have to always be just national governments, also really important for city councils, regional bodies, or provincial structures to really take charge of it.
Before I let you go, at the end of the day, the ITF will not do anything in vacuum. There's something they are looking out for. They've seen what you did for your country, South Africa. And currently, when you're talking about wheelchair tennis, you can't take South Africa out. They are really torchbearers when it comes to Africa. What will be some of the outcomes you'll be looking out for after your visit?
Well, the main outcomes is a program that happens regularly in more than just in the Accra region. So obviously spreading it out, which is already happening. So just to keep growing that. And the second component is to give opportunity to youth and adult players to participate on global qualification events. There are global World Junior Camps, as well as World Team Cup qualifications on an annual basis, as well as the tour itself. So I think as an African region, we don't host enough events. So if you're a player from Asia or Europe or the Americas, you have quite a lot of events to take part in and grow your skills from a coaching perspective as well as a player perspective. In Africa, we've got very few tournaments. So looking at it regionally, for instance, Nigeria and Ghana working together to build some events, sustain those events, then immediately the seed is planted and the individuals can dream to go to the big things.
Worship, say a big thank you to you for your time. Wish you all the best. I'll be following you with my team as well when there need be. But we wish you have a great stay so you come back again.
This is my second visit. So we did a regional coaches conference on my last visit a year ago.
Yeah.
And I always will come back to Ghana. I really enjoy it and can't wait to come. But let's first finish the job for this week.
We'll finish the job for this week. Thank you very much. So that's in the page. And so this is one of the greatest men I've had to interact with because anything South African wheelchair tennis, he has a team and a group of people that really believe in the dream and vision they're having, and they've transformed it. So you go to South Africa and there is inclusion, there is respect, everything, no stigmatization for anybody who is in the para movement. And I think that it's a great thing coming to sow that seed here. And we hope that it will be a win-win situation. We'll get more coaches qualified to train more people. At the end of the day, one day, Ghana plays South Africa again.
We look forward.
Then it changes. That's the page. The page returns same time tomorrow. Have a lovely day.